Good day to all. Welcome to Extreme Recap. Tae-sik, a former gangster, is returning to his hometown at the beginning of the film. He has as of late been let out of jail and has vowed to end his old way of life. In the town he once ruled on his way, he is still feared and respected. We see him perusing notes written in a small journal. When he gets to his hometown, he writes down everything he wants to do in life in that notebook. He visits the restaurant owned by his adoptive mother. She is known as the Sunflower Woman in the town. Waeju, her daughter, requested that Tae-sik return later because her mother is not home. Tae wiped out honestly guarantees that he has no place else to go, so she recommends he go to a sauna. Tae-sik follows the recommendation and visits a nearby sauna. He plays with the automatic lock for a long time because he is fascinated by it, which makes the man who is trying to use it irritated. Tae-sik is forced to apologize after the man asks him sarcastically to keep it down. However, when Tae-sik takes off his shirt and shows him his full body tattoo in a different part of town, two policemen are watching a thug beat a woman in the middle of the street. But because he is a gangster, they are too afraid to do anything. Chong-moo's colleague. They drive away, ignoring the crime that is taking place in front of them. Chong-moo is in a club rebuffing a double-crosser. He scares everyone in the town, but not everyone is aware that he was once a Tae-sik's minion. Tae-sik goes to see his old friend before he goes to prison because he has nowhere else to go. Surprised, Chong-moo welcomes him to the bar. The same respect I had for him years ago. However, Tae-sik, he is greeted and promptly ejected because she does not want to be a part of the crimes taking place there. He then goes to meet a rival of Chong-moo's and another town gangster. Junkie. Junkie also says hi to him and acts like he's happy to see him. However, he asked his right-hand man to keep an eye on things whenever he took sick leave. Then, Tae debilitated goes to the Sunflower Women eatery and meets her. She is ecstatic that her son is back. However, Waeju is perplexed given that she had never met him prior to dinner tactics. Mother takes care of him with her hands, making Waeju desirous. Afterward, Waeju carries him to the porch and requested that he follow every one of her orders. If he wishes to reside in the following scene introduces Cho Pan-soo, a politician, and Tae-sik silently concurs with everything she says. He is a bad man who needs to construct a shopping center in a space where a few local people. He acts nice and caring in front of the public, but once he is out of sight, he insults them for believing him. Meanwhile, Inferd visits a specialist center. He needs to dispose of all his body tattoos since they help him to remember his past. The doctor, on the other hand, says that the surgery will be expensive and will leave a scar on his body. Later that day, Tae-sik makes his way home. The Sunflower Woman bursts into the lawmaker Chopin's office shouting and reviling. It comes out that the lady won't sell him their land because he wants to build a shopping mall there. She leaves after bravely threatening to keep away from them. Waeju and Tae-sik meet on the terrace at night. She ignores the fact that he was once a gangster and orders him around. When Tacit is working in the garage, Tae-sik doesn't tell her to stop being rude and continues to do as she says. The following day, he is watched by the two earlier police officers. They recall how troublesome Tacit used to be before he was imprisoned. We are shown in a flashback that the town was once ruled by Tacit. Chong-moo and Junkie, two current criminals, were his subordinates who followed in his footsteps. Yet, after Tae debilitated got captured, the two of them needed to have his spot. They became rivals as a result, seizing the opportunity. They helped Cho Ponzi rise to power and become a politician. The gangsters currently work under him and constantly compete. After class, Waeju struggles to comprehend calculus in her math class. Tasty comes to pick her up, but he is distracted by her math teacher. They go to a confidential spot to talk. It turns out that Tacit and that she used to date. Tae-sik expresses gratitude to her for always being kind to him and then departs. He and Hyugi are enjoying street food when a man who is obsessed with Hyugi gets into a fight with him over hitting on his alleged girlfriend. The man takes Tasty to an abandoned building with his friends and beats him up. They possibly stop when they notice tattoos all over strategies, body that threaten them. When I got home. Ointment is applied to Tae-sik's wounds. We regret that he must endure suffering as a result of her. Cho Pan-soo is in a meeting somewhere else with both Chong-moo and Junkie. He has as of late opened the greatest club in the town called the Prophet. He wants one of them to assist with club management. The gangster's eagerness to acquire the club exacerbates the tension between them. Pan Su declares that the Sunflower Ladies restaurant will assume responsibility if they can locate him. Chung Mu and his cronies arrive at the restaurant the following day and begin breaking things. But Chong Mu stops everyone as soon as he notices that T is sick. T sick finally loses his cool and strangles Changmu, asking him what he wants. His mother enters the house and disperses the criminals. She was asked by Tae sick what they wanted. However, she ignores the conversation. The following day, Changmu and Yang Ki meet and decide to collaborate to get Tae sick out of town. On the other hand, Tae sick is making the most of his crime-free life to the fullest. He tells Weiju that he also wants to attend college next year and helps Weiju with math in high school. When Tae sick is able to easily solve the most difficult math problems at night, Weiju realizes that he is an excellent student. Tae sick buys his mother a present with his first paycheck when he gets home. Following the event, they exchange a touching hug. Tae wiped out likewise gives Weiju a camera that she had for a long time needed. From the get-go, she asserts she doesn't need it. Tastefully, it keeps his own camera. She, on the other hand, gives him a cup of tea and looks at him at night. Ideally, Tae wiped out gives her the gift. She then happily leaves. The big note he had written in his notebook is then crossed out. The following day the family goes on an excursion by the side of a lake. Together, they eat, sing, and have fun. Around evening time, Tae wiped out is astonished that his old adversary, Byong Jin, has come to meet him. He tranquilly prompts T debilitated to move elsewhere with his family, in light of the fact that Cho Pansu can successfully get the land. As they converse they are observed by Yankee spies, who report the interaction to their superior. Yang Ki quickly informs Chong Mu of his discovery by calling Chong Mu to his location. They believe that Bi Jong Jin was sent by Cho Pan Su to make people sick. Give them the cafe. The oracle may instead be given to Bjorn if his mission is successful. As a result, the two have the intention of quickly evicting Tacit and his family from the restaurant. Then, at that point, we see Implied and Weijin at the emergency clinic getting tattoo eliminated. He has at long last assembled sufficient cash for the methodology. The two eat food from street vendors on their way home. They pick the same college for next year. Work has Tae sick. There. When Chong Mu's men enter the restaurant and begin to damage things. This time, they manhandle, take Sick's mother and toss her to the ground. He receives a head hit from Wei Jin. However, he is also thrown to the ground. She runs to the garage to get Sick tastes. However, when he returns, the robbers have already left and are furious. Has a bad taste, meets the politician in his office, and threatens to keep his family away. Chopin, Su tries to make him a business partner, but Tasty rejects the offer straight up. Yankee thinks about an alternate intent to make Tastes return to jail. In the hope that he will strike back and be discovered by the authorities, he sends some men to beat him up. He even bribes 2 police officers to catch him. Working in the garage is making me taste sick. The gangsters arrive and start a fight. They brutally hit him, but Tacit does nothing. The men drive away after the plan fails. At night, Tae debilitated is at home, informing his mom concerning the occasions of the day when Weiju stalker shows up at the house and ridicules Taste wiped out for getting beat up by irregular outsiders. Additionally, he discusses the passing of Dope. Both the mother and the son clearly feel strongly about the subject. It turns out that Tae Sick killed Dope, the Sunflower Lady's biological son. The revelation surprises us after we hear the conversation. Around evening time, her mom tells her that she visited Implied in jail after her child passed on. He cried and appeared to be remorseful of his activity. She came to the realization that Tacit was in dire need of maternal care the more she got to know him. As a result, she gave him up for adoption. Weiju then, at that point, meets Scrumptious, wiped out on the housetop and lets him know that she pardons him since her sibling used to beat their mom for. The following morning the mother prints out pages from Diopal's journal that he used to keep before his passing. She learns from reading it that Cho Pan Su sent Dopil to kill Tacit 10 years ago. Dopes was killed in the fight that followed, and Tae Six was imprisoned. Therefore, people will stop supporting Cho Ponzi if the media learns about the diary. The mother coerces him to let her family be. Sue. But Chopin is with someone who knows when to back off now that the mother has crossed a line. The following day, he plans to end her forever. Weiju is getting back from school when her stalker hits her with a block and moves away on his bicycle. He has likewise held hands with Chopin and is in his group now. To check that she has not regained consciousness, Tae-sik and his mother rush to the hospital. Additionally, her left face is swollen. After that, the mother decides to sell the restaurant because she is hopeless. She holds herself responsible for the state of Weiju and prioritizes the safety of her family above all else. To inform Chopin, Sue, and the gangsters that they are finally leaving, Tae-sik goes to meet them. The man calls him names and demands that he cut off his arm for the safety of his family. Sik is prepared to give up his arm. But Chopin Sue stops his men at the last minute and lets us taste it. He visits Weiju in the hospital again. Yankee and Changmu are on their way to his house to kill his mother, but it is unknown. Chopin Sue doesn't believe that she should get out the word about his past, so he needs to get rid of her. She was strangled to death by the gangsters, creating the appearance of a suicide. Holding his mother's limp body in his arms, Tae-sik is beyond shocked upon returning home to the scene. Because Weiju is still in the hospital, the funeral will be handled by him alone over the next few days. The land is taken and their restaurant is also destroyed. But since of a hoop found on the floor of his mom's room, Tae wiped out sorts out that the criminals were the ones who killed her. Chopin, Sue, and the others are currently participating in Club Oracle's opening. An irate, Scrumptious drops in on the party and asks, who tossed a stone at Weiju? The stalker himself steps forward. Bingjin was then asked to leave by Tae-sik, because he is the only person in this room who is worthy of life. Bingjin walks outside after saying thanks to him for saving his life. As a result of those tactics, he begins to kill everyone who stands in his way. He takes on and sets the place on fire. 50 men from Chopin alone, he kills most of them, but in the process he gets badly hurt. However, he chokes Chungmu and Yongki to death, as they had done to his mom. He finally kills Chopin and Sue to exact his vengeance. He also passes away shortly after due to the injuries. A while later, Weiju is doing exceptionally well in college. In T6 recognition, she thinks of her objectives in life in his notepad. Turn on notifications, please subscribe for more videos like this, and like the channel to support it. Thank you very much for watching.